something strange appears in Renjia town. It was a dark night, with no streetlights shining around, only a glimmer of light from the stars above. In the silent woods, the howling cold wind was mixed with strange sounds which made people shudder. In the autumn of the 13th year of the Republic of China, this stone tablet should have been newly erected. So, I traveled to the Republic of China, looking at the stone tablet on the roadside outside the woods, which was not too big, but eye-catching enough. Hong Yun immediately raised his head and banged it. Hong Yun was originally a technology nerd. He saved a sum of virtual coins in his early years. Later, he accidentally dug out a USB flash drive and became interested in various currencies. In order to facilitate the collection of currencies from various countries, especially antique currencies, Hong Yun traveled to Hong Kong Island for a long time. This time, after harvesting a batch of good quality silver coins, on the way back to the hotel in the car, for some unknown reason, I was suddenly thrown out of the car. When I opened my eyes again, I came here. Renjia town, if I go, will I have traveled to that world? On the stone tablet in front of you, there are several columns of large characters written, Boundary Monument, Renjia town, 1,500 meters in front, autumn of the 13th year of the Republic of China. Although it is very simple, the meaning is very clear. Follow this road for 1,500 meters and you will reach Renjia town. This is the boundary marker of Renjia town. Hong Yun was very sure that he was definitely not being tricked by others because he was awake the whole time. In just the blink of an eye, I came to a completely different world, and there was no other possibility except traveling through it. But why did he end up in this world? It was late at night outside Renjia town. Hong Yun suddenly shuddered when he thought of all the weirdness in this world. After confirming the direction pointed out by the stone tablet several times, I planned to turn around and run towards Renjia town, silently thinking that God would bless me and nothing would happen. Unfortunately, there is an old saying that what you fear will come to you. Hong Yun, who was just about to turn around and run to Renjia town as fast as he could to get a good sleep, suddenly took a breath of cold air when he raised his head. Are you a human or a ghost? In the middle of the road, just in front of Hong Yun, about 10 meters away, stood a woman. He was dressed in a snow-white robe and had long black hair reaching his waist. Of course, it wouldn't be so scary if it was hanging down behind him. However, this long hair covered the entire face tightly, making it difficult to see any features, and there was even a trace of mist shrouding it in the haze. And what was exposed was a pair of hands that looked like dead branches reaching forward, pointing at Hong Yun. The long fingernails glowed with a faint light, which was frightening. A cold wind blew by, and an inexplicable chill enveloped Hong Yun's heart. If there is some little song coming from the other side late at night, such as Cantonese opera, the man is in the happy place, the concubine is heartbroken. The feeling of grievance is known by the moon. It is difficult to separate, but easy to separate. The abandoned wife regrets too late now. Hiss. Hong Yun's mind instantly flashed back to the movie that almost gave him a heart attack when he was a child. What do? Hong Yun broke into a cold sweat in an instant, not to mention that he was unarmed now. Even if he had a weapon, what effect would it have in this situation? Such a weird thing, let alone a small broken gun. Even Katyusha probably wouldn't be able to use it. After all, the thing opposite has a void buff and is immune to physical attacks. Seeing the terror in the white robe and long hair, Piao 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 rushed towards him. There was no shadow visible under the moonlight, and the way he walked without touching the ground made Hong Yun even more sure of the other party's identity. For a moment, Hong Yun felt a chill all over his body, as if he had entered the 12th lunar month of winter. It was the first time that Hong Yun had truly seen such a weird thing. Apart from fear, Hong Yun even forgot to run away. In fact, Hong Yun has been working out specifically in recent years and has also learned some kung fu. If he really ran as hard as he could, he might have a chance to escape into Renjia town before the female ghost could catch him. Unfortunately, at this time, Hong Yun had unspeakable fear emerging from the bottom of his heart. He couldn't even feel his limbs anymore. He just felt stiff and couldn't move a step. As the female ghost got closer and closer, the black hair seemed to cover up the boundless fear, and the windless black hair almost floated to Hong Yun's face. There was a disgusting smell with a fishy stench, and I could even vaguely see the long hair and pale skin exposed under the white robe, and there were maggot-like things surging. In the gap, a scarlet and ferocious tongue grew without wind and wrapped around Hong Yun's neck. What should I do? Do you think I'm really going to die here today? Hong Yun kept shouting in his heart that he had finally traveled through time. A wonderful future was still waiting for him, but he had not lived enough at all. But what should we do in the face of this strange and extremely terrifying existence? Goldfinger? System? No matter what, come out quickly, help. Just when Hong Yun's heart was filled with despair, a crisp sound suddenly came from his mind. I have stolen a chat group spot. Does the host agree to join the chat group of All Heavens? The system prompt that suddenly appeared made Hong Yun overjoyed. Agree, join now. Just like a drowning person, when you see a little hope, even if it is a straw, you have to grab it as soon as possible, right? After thinking about it, Hong Yun quickly agreed, and for a moment, a very familiar chat software appeared in front of him. There were already many people in the group, and after seeing Hong Yun come in, they all started to speak out. Announcement of the Zhutian chat group. New members will receive red envelopes first when they join the group, and the omniscient group leader will help you break the shackles of fate. For specific operations, please see the group file, Tutorial for Newbies. Hong Yun had no time to look at the messy content in the group announcement. His eyes were fixed on the words red envelope. Since you can give out red envelopes, I don't know if this thing can be sent out. I hope God will bless me and I can send out this red envelope. A dead Taoist friend is not a poor Taoist. It seems that the group leader has owned this chat group for a long time. He must have unfathomable strength. This little female ghost should not be in the way, right? When Hong Yun thought of this, he didn't dare to neglect his actions at all and went straight to the red envelope and clicked on it. The next moment, Hong Yun's eyes glowed and a prompt popped up in his mind. It was scanned that abnormal objects were attached to the group members. In view of the strong will of the abnormal objects and their willingness to integrate with the group members, the ownership of the abnormal objects was determined to belong to the group members. Should the abnormal items scanned be packaged into red envelopes? Seeing that the ghost's long black nails were poking into his forehead, Hong Yun clicked OK as fast as he could in his life. In an instant, the female ghost in front of her seemed to be sucked in by an invisible vortex and disappeared in an instant. An exclusive red envelope in the group was sent out by Hong Yun. Immediately, a message came from the group. Group member Mr. Zombie sent a red envelope exclusive to the group owner. The moment the red envelope appeared, Hong Yun discovered that his red envelope had been taken away. It can be seen that the hand speed of this group of leaders is blocked. Chapter 2, suddenly the group leader fell. In a parallel world, in a bustling metropolis, in a very ordinary residential building, there lived a fat guy with big ears. He laughed obscenely while reading the messages on his mobile phone. I didn't expect that this newcomer was quite sensible and handed out the red envelope so quickly. However, Uncle Nine in the movie doesn't seem to be rich. He might as well be the Taoist with 4 eyes who hides a box of gold. Speaking of this, the wretched fat man curled his lips as if he was dissatisfied with the red envelope sent by Hong Yun. That's right, this guy is the group leader of the Zhutian chat group. His little eyes are moving rapidly, thinking about how to get more benefits from Uncle Nine. The omniscient and omnipotent God group leader, there is another newcomer, Mr. Zombie. Are you Uncle Joe? You have 2 apprentices. One is named Qiu Sheng, and the other is Wen Kai. Is that right? The all-knowing and almighty God group leader, I am worthy of Uncle Joe for figuring out how to give out red envelopes so quickly. If my calculations are correct, Uncle Nine should be in Rinjia Town now, right? I wonder if Uncle Nine wants to know his own fate. Sing Aniu. Wow. The leader of the group has started to use his power again. He is truly worthy of being a god. He really knows everything. Jun Zijian, that's a god. Naturally, he is omniscient and omnipotent. Newcomers should send out a few more red envelopes. The group leader may tell you your future destiny when he is happy. You can change your destiny today. The owner of the #1 village in the world. What Master you said is a bit unreasonable. If fate can really be changed, how can we predict it? In other words, is the predicted fate true? Jun Zijian. Master Shengguan Village still doesn't believe in the group leaders. The owner of the #1 village in the world said, since you believe in the destiny calculated by the group leader, how can you talk about changing your destiny against heaven? Jun Zijian, the group leader, the immortal, has told you a lot about your future destiny, but you are still stubborn. I remember that you haven't sent any red envelopes to the group leader since you joined the group. It's enough to be stingy to this extent. The owner of the #1 village in the world said, this is not picking, but wisdom. Master, you has no brains at all. No wonder the 5 sacred sword sects have never been able to unify. After Hong Yun joined the chat group, it immediately caused a heated conversation in the group, especially when everyone saw Hong Yun handing out the red envelopes. The group seemed to explode. Sing Aniu. The speed of reaching the immortal is so fast. Before Wuji could see clearly what was going on in the red envelope, the immortal had already collected it. Jun Zijian. This is the power of immortals. We must get closer to the group leaders in the future so that we can have the chance to become immortals in the future. Don't be like someone who is stingy and ends up in vain. The owner of the #1 village in the world. I'm just afraid that someone will be sold like a fool in the end, and I won't pay anyone back. Jun Zijian. Shengguan Haidang, what do you mean by this? Are you doubting the group leader? I advise you not to seek death and anger the gods. Mortals like you and I have no room to resist. The owner of the #1 village in the world. I'm just wondering why this newcomer is so familiar with the chat group. Don't forget how long it took us to figure out how to give out red envelopes after joining the group. Yan Shixia. Master Shengguan is right. I have only just thoroughly studied this thing now. The owner of the #1 village in the world. Hey, Master Yan is out of seclusion? It seems that Master Yin is also suspicious, unlike some people who have no brains. Junzi Jin, Master Yin, a Taoist like you should be able to understand what immortal means are, right? Yen Qixia. Yes, we monks do know what gods are, but I also know that there are many evil spirits in this world who are pretending to be gods. Xing Aniu. I think everyone should stop arguing. We can find out what's going on by asking the newcomers. The owner of the #1 village in the world, Senior Zhang, is right. Adamar, Zombie, can this senior tell me how you can give out red envelopes so quickly? Is it talent or other reasons? The people in the group, after a brief period of complimenting the group leader, suddenly brought the topic to Hong Yun. However, at this time, Hong Yun had no intention of chatting with these people. He was restlessly leaning against a suitcase, breathing heavily. At this time, the fat group leader was curling his lips and looking at the news in the group. He was also a little curious about what the group members said. It seemed that Uncle Joe was more familiar with red envelopes than he imagined. However, after watching for a long time, he didn't find Uncle Nine chatting in the group, and the fat man immediately curled his lips and smiled. It seems that Uncle Joe is just gifted with red envelopes. Maybe he still doesn't know how to type and chat. Thinking of this, the fat group leader did not continue to yell. Anyway, the people had already arrived, and there would be many opportunities to take advantage of Uncle Ninth in the future. What good thing does Uncle Joe have on his body? Maoshan Taoist magic or spiritual talismans? I don't know what Uncle Joe sent me. Could it be a spell from the Maoshan sect? If that's the case, it seems good, as long as it's not as obscure as the Nanyang manual that Zhang Wuji made. Of course, let alone that guy Yen Qixia, who hasn't even sent a single red envelope so far. As the fat man spoke, he tapped the red envelope with his finger. After opening the red envelope, the fat man felt that it was pitch black in front of him for a moment. It was a black mist that suddenly came out of the phone and blocked all the lights in the room. Hey, what is this? Could it be a ghost? Seeing the black mist rising and gradually condensing into an illusory figure, a lewd smile suddenly appeared on the fat man's face. Hey, could it be that Uncle Ju knew that I stayed at home every day, so he brought me some fun? Let me think about it. There seem to be many beautiful female ghosts in Uncle Joe's world. I don't know which one this is. As he thought about it, the fat man couldn't help but have tears streaming down his face. His eyes turned red as he stared at the increasingly solid figure. Fuck, what the hell is this? Why is it so ugly? Soon, when the black mist completely solidified, the fat man immediately let out a scream. His face was frightened, and the blood on his face disappeared in an instant. With a pale face, he stood up tremblingly and planned to run out. It was just because this guy hadn't exercised for too long that he stood up suddenly and was frightened, so his blood pressure failed to keep up. He suddenly became dizzy and fell to the ground. Then the female ghost seemed to be irritated by the fat man's humiliating words. She roared and jumped directly from the air like a wild beast out of its cage. Ouch, help. Before the cry for help was finished, the scream stopped suddenly, and there were only bursts of chewing sounds in the whole room. Click, click. In this deep night, it is clear and terrifying. A moment later, a system prompt came, and Hong Yun, who was chatting in the group, was stunned. Warning, the group leader has fallen. Chapter 3, meeting Uncle Jiao for the first time in Yizhuang. Hong Yun finally calmed down, quickly typed 2 lines in the chat group, and immediately got his bearings. Then he raised his legs, barely daring to stop for a step, and moved quickly towards Renjaizen. Hongyun, I'm sorry, everyone. There was a little accident just now, which shocked me a little. Hongyun, at omniscient and almighty God, please be careful when you open the red envelope, the group leader. The things in my red envelope are a bit dangerous. Of course, maybe to the group leader, these are nothing. I changed the name in my group for the convenience of myself and readers. Then, Hongyun cautiously reminded the group leader, although it seemed that the other party had been in control of the group for a long time. But I think that the other person may have been in the same world as me before time travel, and maybe we can meet again in the future. So we still need to have a good relationship. Xing'anyu. Hey, the newcomer has changed his name? What do you mean when you say the red envelope is dangerous? Junzijin. It's just a red envelope. What's the danger? The owner of the #1 village in the world. You are not convinced that you have no brains. There are dangers everywhere in this world. Of course, I am also curious about what kind of red envelope will cause danger to the group owner. Yan Qixia. What Master Shengwan said is absolutely true. Yan is also very curious. With the leader's omniscient power, what kind of terror can pose a threat to him? As everyone talked, they all revealed their full confidence in the leader of the group, who claimed to be omniscient and omnipotent. Even Shengwan Haidang, who has always been very rational, is full of confidence in the strength of the group leader. Junzijin. Shengwan Haidang, I have tolerated you for a long time. The leader of the group has incredible skills and boundless power. I dare to say that a mere red envelope will cause danger to the leader of the group. It is simply ridiculous. Xing'anyu, Headmaster Yu is right. The leader of the group, the Immortal, is indeed very capable. I don't believe that anything can harm the Immortal. Yan Qixia. Having said that, nothing is absolute. Yan thinks it's better to let the newcomer explain what kind of red envelope will make him feel this way. Yan Qixia. What if some big devil shows up and something goes wrong? Will it endanger us? As she spoke, Yan Qixia immediately kowtowed at Hongyun in the group. It can be seen that although everyone has full confidence in the group leader, but after all, Yan Qixia was well informed, so she was still a little worried. At this moment, several harsh reminders suddenly flashed in the group. Warning, the group leader has fallen. Warning, the group leader has fallen. Warning, the group leader has fallen. 3 consecutive piercing warning sounds instantly stunned everyone in the group. At this moment, Hongyun stood panting outside Renjia town, looking at the lanterns hanging on the archway not far away, and finally felt at ease. Now that he has seen the archway, it proves that he is no longer in danger at this time. After all, the average archway is only about half a mile away from residential areas, so getting here is basically like entering a town. What's more, in the plot, except for the turmoil caused by the transformation of the old man of the Rin family, this town is relatively safe. I looked up and looked around, and there was a courtyard that didn't look too small, but a little old, about 10 or 20 meters away from the archway at the entrance of the town. With the faint light and dim moonlight, you can see the word Yizhuang written on the plaque above the entrance of the courtyard. Yizhuang? It seems that this is where Uncle Ju lives. He finally found a safe harbor. Thinking of this, Hongyun hurriedly walked to the gate of Yizhuang. Snap, bang, bang. After knocking 3 times, a slight cough came from the courtyard. Who is it? Hong Yun was about to answer when a harsh warning sound suddenly sounded in his mind, making Hong Yun stunned. The leader of the group has died? How is this possible? Not to mention the people in the group who didn't believe it. Even Hong Yun didn't expect it. After all, before he traveled through time, he read a lot of novels. People who can have this chat group in the heavens, even if they are ordinary people like themselves, should have received a lot of benefits after such a long time. Judging from the Weizhong, Wuji, and others in the group were convinced by him, even if they had just practiced the Nine-Yong divine art, they wouldn't be so good, right? Little brother, who are you looking for? Before Hong Yun could figure it out, the door of Yizhuang opened and a middle-aged man stepped out. The middle-aged man is not burly, but only of average height. Wearing a gray suit of coarse cloth, with sharp eyebrows and starry eyes, he has an aura of calmness and authority. The upright look on his face gives people an incomparable sense of security. I'm a passerby. I've just arrived in your country. It's getting late. Can I stay overnight? Uncle Joe's voice pulled Hong Yun back from his thoughts. I hurriedly made an excuse and planned to stay in Yizhuang for one night and wait until tomorrow to make plans. Borrowing? Uncle Joe was slightly startled. He originally planned to refuse, but suddenly found that the handsome young man in front of him seemed to be a little blue. There was a trace of black energy covering his forehead. Although it was a little weak, it couldn't hide it from a monk with such a profound Taoism. Okay, little brother, come with me. Uncle Joe frowned and let Hong Yun into the yard without saying much. He took Hong Yun to a guest room, opened the door, and asked Hong Yun to come in. Little brother, there are not many guest rooms in my village, only 2. My junior brother lives in the other room, so I feel sorry for you to live in this one. This guest room looks like no one lives in it on weekdays. Although it is not dirty, it is not particularly good. It can only be said to be barely habitable. Of course, in this day and age, having such a well-furnished house that is sheltered from wind and rain is already considered a good thing. It's good enough to have a place to live. I'm Lin Jiao, a disciple of the Maoshan sect. Please give me some face from the people in this town and call me Uncle Joe. My little brother can just call me Master Lin. As Uncle Joe spoke, he looked Hong Yun up and down carefully. Seeing that the other party was dressed like an international student who had returned from overseas, he was wearing a dress and the materials seemed to be very luxurious. Uncle Joe was a little surprised that such a young master had such an approachable attitude. It turns out to be Uncle Nine. Thank you, Uncle Nine. Although Hong Yun knew the identity of the other party, he still pretended not to know. Little brother, you are so polite. From the look of you, little brother, you seem to have returned from overseas. Yes, I'm Hong Yun. I just came back from overseas. Since Uncle Joe regarded him as an overseas student, Hong Yun didn't explain much and nodded in agreement. It turns out to be Brother Hong Yun. Please sit down for a moment and I'll bring you a pot of water. After Uncle Joe finished speaking, he turned around and left without saying much. When he came to his bedroom, he made a pot of tea and frowned. After a moment, he sighed, took out a talisman seal from his Taoist robe, burned it with a wave of his hand, and a moment later turned into a ball of ashes and fell into the teapot. Brother Hong Yun, I believe you also understand what this Yizhuang does. After drinking this pot of tea, go to bed early and don't move around. If you have any questions, we'll talk tomorrow. Uncle Joe walked in with a teapot and poured Hong Yun a cup of tea. Thank you, Uncle Joe. You don't have to be busy. I'll go to sleep immediately after drinking this cup of tea. I promise I won't run around. Hong Yun hurriedly took it politely, took a sip, and found that the temperature was suitable. Although the taste was a bit unique, I just thought it was because there was no good tea in this era, so I didn't take it seriously and drank it in one go. Uncle Ju nodded with satisfaction when he saw Hong Yun finish drinking tea, turned around and left, closing the door for Hong Yun. Chapter 4, Suspicions arose in the group chat. After drinking 2 cups of weird-tasting tea, Hong Yun placed his backpack on the bedside. Although the room looks a bit shabby, at least the bedding and everything else are clean and tidy. It looked like it had been cleaned frequently, and it even had a faint medicinal smell. Not to mention, the medicinal smell was quite strange. Hong Yun lay on the bed and felt her heart calm down after a while. I opened the chat group again and found that everyone in the group was confused. Junzi Jin. What on earth is going on? Impossible. This is absolutely impossible. Sing Aniu. This, the group leader claims to be a god. How could he be like this? What did the newcomer named Uncle Jio send to the group leader? Yan Xixia. Maybe it's an unknown terror? Or is the group leader actually? Speaking of this, Yan Xixia couldn't help but hesitate. After all, these days, since everyone entered this chat group, they have witnessed the magical methods that the group leader has always displayed. The group leader claims to be omniscient and omnipotent, and this is not a boast. After people join the group, he can often reveal their identities and past experiences with just one word. Regarding the future of everyone, it is even more important to follow the rules. Both Zhang Wuji and Yu Buqian received tips from the group leader and even changed their fates against the will of heaven and received considerable benefits. So to the group friends, this group leader who can know the past and the future is definitely an immortal with unfathomable strength. Now, suddenly, a bolt from the blue told them that this immortal with boundless power had fallen like this. The sudden and extremely sudden death was just because a red envelope. Almost all the friends in the group were in a state of confusion and could not even believe that the news was true. After all, this news was too unbelievable. It simply overturned their long-standing fantasies about gods. At this time, in the first world in the world, in the first village in the world, sitting in the pavilion, looking at the rockery in front of you,